Gurubhyo Namaha. Shubhodaya. A very warm good morning and welcome to everyone to yet another weekend with wisdom session. Let me begin with a prayer. Vakratunda Mahakaya Koti Surya Samaprabha Nirvignam Kurume Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada सर्वमंगलमांगल्ये शिवे सर्वार्थसाधिके शरण्ये त्र्यंबके गौरी नारायणी नमोस्तुते ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरि ओम्. Good morning again, everybody. We are here very fortunate to have with us Professor CSR Prabhuji, who is joining us all the way from Hyderabad. Thank you, sir, for making time for this sessions. We'll be speaking on a very interesting and less discussed topic, a text called Yoga Taravali. It is a text on yoga, a very important text attributed to Sri Adi Shankaracharya. It is the only text on yoga which is considered to be authored by Shankaracharya. The Yoga Taravali is a unique text. It's a very important text because it contains a lot of practical teachings on Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga and on various aspects of pranayama and samadhi and other aspects of the yoga. And Sri Prabhuji will take one through provide a very comprehensive introduction, a background, an opening into the text. And before we proceed, I just want to introduce Professor Prabhuji to the audience. Professor CSR Prabhu is an eminent scientist who held prestigious positions in government and professional bodies. He was Director General of National Informatics Center, Government of India at New Delhi, and he headed Computer Society of India's Hyderabad chapter, and presently the chairman of ACM Hyderabad Deccan chapter. He authored 16 books, of which 12 are in cutting-edge subjects such as fog computing and big data analytics. He founded and heads Vishwa Yoga Vidyapeeth and has taught yoga globally. He has conducted research level books. He has conducted research both in computer science and Sanskrit texts and has authored research level books in all the above areas. He has also developed a Dharma Yoga as a common framework for all religions and sciences. A warm welcome to you, sir, again. Thank you for making time for this session.
Om Namo Brahmadibhyo Brahma Vidya Sampadaya Kartabhyo Vamsa Rishibhyo Mahadhyo Namo Gurubhyaha Sarvoplavahita Prajnana Ghana Pratyagarbho Sohamasmi Brahmaivahamsmi. Friends, Adi Shankaracharya is our Guru. We pray to him every day. He has authored a large number of texts and running into several hundreds. Most of those texts were related to Advaita Vedanta in terms of the commentaries which he wrote to the Brahma Sutras, the Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita, which are known as the Prasthanatraya. And he wrote a large number of Prakarana Grandhas like Vivek Chudamani, Atma Bodha, each one of them taking an independent view and approach on Advaita Vedanta. And he wrote many Stotra Grandhas, and he also wrote Tantra Shastra texts like Saundarya Lahari. So there is only one text in the entire compendium of encyclopedia series of Adi Shankaracharya's works on yoga, and that is called Yoga Tara. The word Taravali means galaxy, a group of stars. So a galaxy on, that means it is the highest and the brightest and the greatest. Though it is only 27 slokas, it stands the tallest in the yogic literature. I had the privilege of accessing that book as early as 1975 and translating it to English for the first time in the world, and was published in two magazines. Because it's very small, it could be published in magazines. One is Tapovan Prasad of Hinmayam. The other is Yoga magazine of Bihar School of Yoga. So in both these magazines, my translation was published in English. I was particularly attracted to it for the simple reason that I was going through exactly the same processes and procedures of pranayama under my Guru Swami Shilanand Bharti, who is the third in lineage of the Bade Dhuniwala Samsthan at Khandwa in Madhya Pradesh. So he was a great yogi who entered into Samadhi for 22 days, underground buried. And his guru was Chote Dhuniwala, Harihara Ananda. And his guru was Bade Dhuniwala, Keshavananda. And their guru was Gauri Shankar Maharaj. And so on, the lineage goes to Govinda Bhagavad Pada. And therefore, the classmates of Adi Shankaracharya, Govinda Bhagavad Pada was the teacher of Adi Shankaracharya in Narmada at Omkaresh cave, which is still there. I went there recently also during the Narmada Pushkar. So what exactly I was going through in the training under his tutelage of Swami Shilanand Bharti, whose Samadhi is there at Chipaner, and Khandwa is where Samadhi is of Bade Dhuniwala and Chote. Bade Dhuniwala is supposed to be the avatar of Shiva himself, and Shiva is, Jyotirlinga is there in Omkareshwar, where he appeared to Mandhata and also to Jain, which is a Mahakal. Both are Jyotirlingas, and there's one more, Mamaleshwar, very close to Omkar. So Shiva is the original guru of all of us. He is the originator of yoga. And in fact, it is said that Shiva taught yoga to Parvati in the cave of Amarnath in Kashmir. And that is how the Yoga Shastra came into existence. Shiva Samhita is also there, which is a later book. But we all know the Patanjali Yoga Sutras of Patanjali next to Sankhya Sutras. We have covered that in our previous lecture series. Now, Patanjali Yoga Sutras covers the subject of yoga in a very brief manner. It's a summary sutra form. It doesn't elaborate. It is not meant for elaborate explanations of the Yoga Shastra. The Yoga Shastra, which comprises of both Hatha Yoga and Raja Yoga, is very well understood, developed and practiced throughout India or throughout globe maybe, particularly in the Himalayas and also in the Omkareshwar cave at the Narmada river bank. These two were the two headquarters ascribed to the great yogis traditions. And I belong to the second one, the Narmada Valley, Omkareshwar area tradition, that is Khandwa, Bade Dhuniwala, Chote Dhuniwala. So the Yoga Shastra, which is practical, which is not a theoretical thing, is the basis, according to my understanding, for the experiential foundation or ground for Advaita experience. Advaita is presented as a theoretical subject, and it is provable by Nyaya and Mimamsa Pramanas. It has been declared as the only religious philosophy or doctrine, Siddhanta, which is provable in any format, whether it is in a court of law or whether it is in a debate of Shastrartha. And the logic used was the propositional logic. There is no other religious doctrine or philosophy or Siddhanta which is provable in that sense. As a result of which, Adi Shankaracharya, being the greatest logician, he has propounded Maya as the replacement for Shunyavada. Mayavada substituted Shunyavada of Buddhists and thereby defeating them in the Shastras by using the Nyaya Pramanas and the Mimamsa. All that is on one side. That is the polemics, the Shastrartha, debate, proof, and victory. And therefore he became the Jagat Guru by being victorious on the Buddhist Jains, Kapalikas, Charvakas, Lokayatas, who used less and limited equipment compared to Adi Shankaracharya himself in the proposition of the Advaita Siddhanta of the Vedanta Darshana. Of course, much later, hundreds and years or even 1,000 years later, great gurus like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, Vallabhacharya, and so on came and propounded a large number of Siddhantas, going up to 24 or 25, including the Charvaka, Lokayata. But the Advaita Siddhanta reigns supreme, at least at that point of time when Adi Shankaracharya lived, which is dictated around 500 BC. Whereas some of the estimates put him in 800 AD, which is wrong. The 500 BC period is the right period. So now this book, Yoga Taravali, was formed by me in a series of works of Shankaracharya known as Shankara Grantha Ratnavali, which means a collection of Adi Shankara works, complete works of Adi Shankara, in about 15 volumes now and going on extending maybe up to 25 volumes. Produced in Tenali, the place where I was born, in Andhra, near Vijayawada and Guntur. He is produced by an organization called Sadhana Grantha Mandali. By Dulitha Surya Prakash Shastri, who met him long back. So he has covered all the books, but the translation is provided by the great Swamiji of Ramakrishna Math by name Swami Nirvikalpananda, who gave a Telugu translation to the Telugu script text of all the works of Adi Shankara. So Swami Nirvikalpananda was from Ramakrishna Math, Kolkata, Belur Math. He was located in Belur Math, but being a Telugu scholar, he has translated all the works into Telugu in a brief manner, without much expansion. So now the Yoga Taravali is 30th text in that series. The other text starting with, we have text like Advaita Anubhuti, Anatma Sri Nirgraha, Atma Shatkam, Atma Puja, Atma Bodha, Eka Shloki, Kashi Panchakam, Kevaloham, Kaupina Panchakam, Gurvashtakam, Charpada Panjarikaksha Stotram, and Jivan Muktananda Lahari, Tattvopadeshaha, Dhanya Ashtakam, Niranjana Ashtakam, Nirvana Ashtakam, Nirvana Dasa Shloki, Nirvana Manjari, Nirguna Manasa Puja, Prata Smaranam, Prashnottara Ratnamalika, Prashnottara Maniratnamalika, Praudhanubhutihi, Brahmajnanavalila, Brahmanuchintanam, Manisha Panchakam, Maya Panchakam, Matham Nayaha, and Yoga Taravali. It's very important to see the sequence, because after giving all the Advaita Prakarana Granthas of great importance, though they in small in size, he gave Madhamnaya, which is the will of Adi Shankaracharya for all the four Shankara matters. And then immediately after the will is coming Yoga Taravali. That means Yoga Taravali is having a huge importance. Somebody who writes a will and then writes Yoga Taravali. So now, Vande Gurunam Charana Ravinde. This is the first sloka of Yoga Taravali. There are only 27 slokas. We will cover half now and half in the afternoon session. I start with the prostration to all the Gurus. Vande Gurunam Charana Ravinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe Janasraye Jangalika Yamane Samsa Nishreyase Mangalika Yamane Samsara Hala Halamoha Santei Vande Gurunam Charanaravinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe. So we prostrate onto the feet of, lotus feet of all our Gurus who have acquired Atma Jnana, Atmanubhuti, Brahmanubhuti, Brahmajnana and Nirvana and Moksha. Vande Gurunam Charana Ravinde Sandarshita Swatma Sukhavabodhe Nishreyase Mangalika Yamane. And that Atma Sukhavabodha, that is the self-realization, is because of Nishreyasa, Moksha, and Mangalikayama. It is the greatest good, Mangala, for the individual himself and to all others. And for what purpose? Samsara Hala Hala Moha Shanti. For the calming down, whitening of the Hala Hala. Hala Hala is what? One of the worst poisons in the world. It is spreading like wildfire. Hala Hala Agni. So that is going on in the samsara. And to calm it down, Shanti, for the purpose of calming it down, this Yoga Taravali is being propounded after prostrating to all our Gurus, starting with my own immediate Guru to the highest. That is Narayana himself through and Shiva himself. Sadashivoktani Sapadalaksha Layavadhanani Vasanti Loke Nadanusandhana Samadhimekam Manyamahe Manyatamam Layana. So as I told you just now, Shiva himself taught yoga to Parvati in the Amarnath cave. And he has told about 1.25 lakh techniques. Sadashivoktani Sapada Lakshalaya Vadanani Vasante Loke. Laya, Samadhi, absorption, can be achieved through 1.25 lakhs of techniques of yoga, which include the various techniques of Hatha Yoga, Pranayama, etc., etc., etc. Sare Chapurairanilasya Kumbhai Sarvasu Nadisu Vishodhitasu Anahataadam Buruhadudeti Swatmavagamya Swayameva Bodha. The out of 1.25 lakh techniques, there is one technique called Nada Anusandhana, which is Nada Anusandhana. It can be interpreted in two ways. One is there is a pranayama technique, which is called Nada Brahma, which is a stage where Nada comes after the Anahata Nada that we explained in pranayama itself. Now, and another way to interpret is the Sangita Sadhana or Nada Anusandhana, which is nothing but the musicology. Nada Anusandhana Samadhi Mekam, the Samadhi which is reached through Nadanusandhana. Tyagaraja reached Samadhi through Nadanusandhana in the musicology approach. But in the higher yoga, we have Nada originating from the Anahata Nada, which will be explained now through Pranayama. Nadanusandhana Samadhimekam Manyamahe Manyatamam Layana. Among all the Samadhi techniques of Laya, Laya means absorption, the Nadanusandhana is held as the highest. Sare Chapurairanilasya Kumbhaihi Sarvasu Nadisu Vishodhitasu Anahatadamburuhadureti Swatmavagamya Swayameva Bodha. So he is now explaining what he stated in the previous sloka. The Atma Jnana, Atma Sakshatkara, Atma Anubhava will automatically come when the Anahata Chakra is opened up and Kundalini arises. Achieved through the pranayama. Sa recha purai anlasya kumbhai sarvasu nadisu vishodhitasu. 72,000 nadis emanate from the navel and spread throughout the body. A nadi is a prana vahika. It is not an artery or vein which can be anatomically exposed. It is a pranic body network. So the network has many junctions which are called chakras. So the main 6 chakras are the major chakras, junctions. There are many other chakras too. So in pranic healing and yoga system, we understand how to clean the chakras through pranic healing or pranayama in case of patients and diseases. But here we are talking of a higher order yoga, not therapy. Sare Chapurair Anilasya Kumbhai Sarvasu Nadis Vishodhitasu. All the 72,000 nadis and their junctions, that is chakras, will be purified by the practice of pranayama, which is comprising of 3 actions. Vechaka, Puraka and Kumbhaka. That is exhalation, inhalation and retention. Vechaka means exhalation or expulsion of the air. And Puraka is inhalation or filling up of the air in the lungs. And Kumbhaka is retention of the air in the lungs. So, Sarecha Purair Anilasya, Anila is air. Kumbhai Sarvasu Nadisu Vishodhitasu. So, once the Nadi system is purified, all the Nadis, Anahatad Amburuha Dudeti. Amburuha, the chakra, the lotus of Anahata, when it blossoms, Swatmavagamya Swayameva Bodha. Swatmavagamya, self-realization, self-knowledge is automatically reached. Nadanusandhana Samadhimekam. Why Anahata Chakra is being talked? It is in the chest. And the word Anahata itself means there is a sound which is emanating without any impact. All sounds originate only when 2 objects impact, but the Anahata sound comes from within without any impact. Anahata Chakra leads to Nada Brahma, Nadanusandhana. I have seen it happening in the Silananda Swamiji, Silananda Bharati's teachings with various students. Nadanusandhana Samadhimekam Manyamahe Manyatamam Layanam. Nadanusandhana Namostu Tubhyam. O Nadanusandhana, I prostrate to you. Tvam sadhanam tattva padasya jane. Tattva pada. Tattva jnana, tattva pada, self-realization state can be reached through you, O Nadanusandhana. Bhavat prasadat pavanam sasagam viliyate Vishnu padantarale. By your grace, O Nadanusandhana technique, the prana will be absorbed in the Vishnu pada, the samadhi stage. Jalandharodyanana mula bandhan, jalpanti kanthodara payumulan, bandhatrayesmin parichiyamane, bandhak kuto darshakala pasha. The 3 bandhas, Jalandhar bandha, Udyana bandha and Moola bandha. They are practiced at 3 stages: Kantha, Udara, and Mooladhara. That is neck and abdomen, and in the Mooladhara, the reproductive area region. So these 3 bandhas, which are taught extensively by Hatha yogis, and which are the core components of the yogic Sukshma Vayama. All the yogic Sukshma Vayama exercises are based on the bandhas, the 3 bandhas, Jalandhara, Uddiyana, and Moola. So, Jalandharodhyana Moola Bandhan Jalpanti Kanthodara Payu Moolan Bandhatrayesmin Parichiyamane Bandhak Kuto Daruna Kalapasha. Those who are familiar with these bandhas, they can be disconnected from the bandha of the Daruna Kalapasha, the deadly death. Kala is time or death. So your life can be extended by the practice of the 3 bandhas, and all the 3 bandhas when practiced simultaneously called Mahabandha. So we teach these things in our courses. We have learned from our gurus, Suri Raghav Dikshitru and his guru Dhirendra Brahmachari and his guru Maharshi Kartikeya, and also the Bihar School of Yoga Swami Satyanand Saraswati. We prostrate all of them to have taught us these techniques. Audyana Jalandhara Moola Bandhai Unnidritayam Uraganganayam Prachagmukhatvat Pravishan Sushumnam Gamagame Vanchati Gandhavaha. So these 3 bandhas, pranayama is already declared. Pranayama can lead to Nada Brahma, Nadanusandhana, which will directly lead to Samadhi. And another path is the 3 bandhas. And the 3 bandhas will awaken the Kundalini. And the Kundalini will enter Sushumna. Normally we have only Ida and Pingala, right and left active. But when both are balanced by the Hatha Yoga, the word Hatha stands for Surya and Chandra, that is right and left nadis. When it is balanced, then Sushumna is opened up and the Kundalini traverses in Sushumna to the higher chakras. Prachangmukhatvat pravishan Sushumna. So when the Sushumna is entered by the Prana Shakti, the Kundalini activation, Gamagame Munchati Gandhavaha Uthapitadhara Hutashanolkai Akunchane Shasvadapanavayo Santapata Chandramasa Patantim Piyushadaram Pibati Hadhanyaha. So a kind of a Agni is awakened. Uthapitadhara Hutashanolkai. Hutashana is Agni. The flames of the Agni which are awakened by the Bandha practice, Kundalini, and by the Akunchane Shashvadapanavayo. The contraction with the Apana Vayu, Santapita Chandramasa Patantim. So that heat will melt the cold in the moon in the top. These are all symbolic. They are not the physical moon, but inside the system, human system. Piyushadharam pibati hadanya. So the Amrita will be released from the top, which will be licked by the tongue, the Khechari Mudra. Bandhatrayabhyas vipakajatam vivarjitam vechakapurakabhyam vishodhayantim vishaya pravaham vidyam bhaje Kevala Kumbhaka. Now friends, in the pranayama practice, we do pranayama apart from the Hatha Yoga pranayamas like Bhastrika, Kapalbhati, Brahmani, Murcha, Plavini, Ujjayi, Sitali, Sitkari, Surya Veda. These are all Hatha Yoga pranayamas. But the Raja Yoga pranayama starts with the Nadi Shodhana ratios. Inhalation, retention and exhalation and external retention. In different ratios under the direct supervision and tutelage of the Guru. I will go into higher and higher levels. And I was privileged enough to learn this from my Gurus. Swami Silananda Bharati. And when you go to higher levels, you will get different experiences. So the pranayama practice, the kumbhaka, retention is Sahita Kumbhaka. That means you are performing retention on your own effort for a long time throughout the process of pranayama practice. But after a particular period, when you reach the level which is required to cross that stage, then the kumbhaka will happen automatically. That is called Kevala Kumbhaka. So that means the breath will stop automatically, as against breath being stopped voluntarily with effort by us throughout pranayama practice course of many years. So when the breath stops automatically, that is called Kevala Kumbhaka. That is what he is referring to. Vidyam bhaje Kevala Kumbharupam. He is saying that I do praise the Kevala Kumbha Vidya. Anahate chetasi savadhanaihi abhyasashuraihi anubhuyamana samstambhita shvasa manah prachara sajrumbhate Kevala Kumbhaka Shri. The grandeur or glory of Kevala Kumbhaka will arise when the breath is stopped. Samstambhita shvasa manah prachara. When the breath is stopped, the mind is already stopped. Without the breath, mind cannot function. So anahate chetasi savadhanai abhyasa shurair anubhuyamana samstambhita shvasa manah prachara sajrumbhate Kevala Kumbhaka Shri. The Shobha Shri of Kevala Kumbhaka will be eminent, will become emanated, will fluorescent when the Anahata Chakra is crossed. Anahate chetasi savadhanai dhyasa shurair anubhuyamana. It should be experienced by the valor of practice, abhyasa shura. Those who have the valorous practitioners of yoga, of pranayama. Samstambhita shvasa manah prachara. The shvasa and manah prachara being stopped. Sajrumbhate Kevala Kumbhaka Shri. The Kevala Kumbhaka Shri will emanate at that point of time. Sahasrasha santi Hateshu Kumbhaha. There are thousands of Kumbhaka techniques in Hatha Yoga. Sambhavyate Kevala Kumbhaeva. They all finally end in Kevala Kumbha. Kumbhottame yatra ture cha purau pranasya na prakrita vaikritakhyau. So, in that Kumbhaka, the Recha Puras are automatically stopped. Inhalation and exhalation are automatically stopped in the natural arising of retention. And this will mean the prana has been arrested with its vicissitudes of prakrita and vaikrita, prakriti and vikriti. Natural motion of the prana and the abnormal or disturbed motion, both are arrested. Sahasrashas santi hateshu kumbha kumbhottame kevala kumbhaeva kumbhottame yatra tu vecha purau pranasya na prakrita vaikritakhyau trikutanam nisthimiten tarange Stambhite Kevala Kumbhake cha Prananilo Bhanushankanadio Vihaya Sadhyo Vilayam Prayati. So there is a stage after Kevala Kumbhaka, which is Samadhi. Trikutanam Nistimite Stambhite Kevala Kumbhaeva. In the space above called Trikuta, the Prananilau Bhanushankanadio Vihaya Sadhyo Vilayam Prayati. So the prana anila, the air of prana, will reach absorption, vilayam, complete dissolution, coming out of avoiding both Ida and Pingala, Bhanushankana, Dyo Vihaya, Sadyo Vilayam Praya, natural dissolution. It stops completely. That means there is no breath at all inside the system, and absorption, which is the first entry into samadhi. Prachahrita Kevala Kumbhakena Prabuddha Kundalyupabhukta Sesha Prana Pratichina Pathena Mandam Viliyate Vishnu Padantarale. The prana which is there in the body, which is Prachahrita, absorbed in the Kevala Kumbhaka, which is arousing out of Prabuddha Kundali, Kundali having aroused, Upabhukta Sesha, which has consumed the balance remaining prana, Pratichena Pathena Mandam Viliyate Vishnu Padantarale. It will absorb into the Vishnu Pada. Nirankushanam Shvasanodgamanam Nirodhanai Kevala Kumbhakakshay Udeti Sarvendriya Vritti Shunyo Arullaya Kopi Mahamatinam. So the Nirankusha, the swasas, the breathing is Nirankusha. Nobody can stop. But here the yogis have stopped. Nirankushanam Shvasanodgamanam Nirodhanai. Prana Nirodha has happened. Kevala Kumbhakakshay, by the name called Kevala Kumbhaka. Udeti Sarvendriya Vritti Shunyo. Where a stage is reached, all the Indriyas have stopped completely. Marullaya Kopi Mahamatinam. Marullayaha. Marut, that is prana, anila, has gone into dissolution, absorption. Mahamuninam. Only the Mahamunis can reach that stage. Na drishti lakshad, having reached that stage of samadhi after Kevala Kumbhaka. Na drishti lakshani na chitta bandho na cha desha kalo na cha vayu bodha na dharana dhyana parishramo va samedhamane sati raja yoge. So having reached that highest level of samadhi, there is no need, it is redundant to practice further pranayama, to practice further concentration, dharana, dhyana, and so on. Drishti laksha, that is Trataka. Asesha drishyorjita drugjayanam avasthitanam iha raja yoge na jagaro na pisu shukti bhavo no jivitam no maranam vichitram. He is explaining how that samadhi state. It is neither death nor birth nor alive. That is, breathing is not happening, but the person is not dead. They go underground, they close underground vault. I have seen with my own eyes. For 22 days, my Guru Swami Shilananda Bharti was buried underground. I have seen another friend of him being buried for 3 days and nights in Hyderabad outskirts in 1979. So there, everything stops. It is neither waking state, nor sleep state, nor dream state, nor death state, nor birth state, nor alive state. Asesha Drishyorjita Drugjayanam. All the Drishya, the samskaras which are created from Drishya, from outside world, are all buried. Avasthitanam iha Raja Yoge, the royal yoga. Najagaro na pisushukti bhavo. No jivitam, no maranam vichitram. It is wonder. It is wonderstruck, wonderful state, neither living nor dead, nor sleeping nor awake. Aham mamattvadi vihaya sarvam Sri Raja Yoge Sthiramanasanaam Na drishtratanachi drishyabhavaha Sajrumbhate Kevala Kumbhaka Sri. Kevala Kumbhaka alone is present in an emanated manner. Vijrumbhate Kevala Kumbhaka Sri. And where Ahamkara and Mamakara are already been given up, Vihaya Sarvam, Sri Raja Yoge Sthiramanasana, who established in the great, wonderful Shobha of Raja Yoga. Na drishtata na chita drishya bhava. So normally we talk of drishya and drashta, but this samadhi stage is beyond both drishtata and drishya. नेत्रे ययोन्मेष निमेष शून्ये वायुर्यया वर्जितरे च पुरः मनश्च संकल्प विकल्प शून्यम् मनोन्मनी सा मयि सन्निधत्ता. Where the eyes will not flicker, where the breathing will not be going in and out. Vayurjaya varjita recha puraha. Netre yonmesha nimesha shunye. Vayurjaya varjita recha puraha. Manascha sankalpa vikalpa shunyam. The mind also stopped making proposals and disposals forward and backward, which is the normal functioning of the mind, because everything is stopped in samadhi. Manonmani, that is called Unmani stage. Manonmani stage. Manonmanaya Namaha, we say about Shiva in Samadhi. How is Shiva? He is in Samadhi. He is in Manonmani stage. Sa Mai Sannidhatta, may I get that? May is praying, is proposing, is what is called declaring or asserting that may I get that. Chittendriyanam chiranigrahena swasa prashvase samite yamindraha nivadadipa iva nischalanga manonmanim sa mai sannidhatta. The yogis, they will yamindraha, those who are supreme in controlling, they reach this stage of samadhi by controlling the chitta and indriyas chiranigrahena for a long time, for on a long-term basis. Swasa prachara is also, because the breathing is the controlling factor for the indriyas and mind. And when that is stopped in Kevala Kumbhaka and you reach samadhi, automatically everything is gone. They are like jyotis, nivata deepa iva nischalanga. They will be fixed in their position in samadhi without any vacillation or vibration or magnadhiyo bhavanti. They are absorbed in samadhi. He is explaining samadhi. Unmanyavasthadhigamaya vidvan upayamekam tava nirdishamah pasyannudasinataya prapancham sankalpamunmulaya savadhanam. O scholar, he is addressing the audience. I will tell you upayam, that is a methodology for achieving unmani sthiti, which is samadhi. First thing is pasyannudasinataya prapancham. Look at the world as detached view, udasina view. That is vairagya. Drishtanistravika vishaya vitrishtasya vashikara sanya vairagya. Sankalpa munmolaya. First is vairagya and second is abhyasa. Remove your thoughts. Sankalpa mun. That is possible through pranayama and dhyana and samadhi and all that. Prasahya sankalpa paramparanam. Sanchedane santata savadhanam alambanaşāgapacchiyamāna shanai shanai shantimupaiti cetaha. So the meditation process is being explained. You keep on observing your mind, the thoughts, the sankalpas, vikalpas which are coming and going without getting involved. Prasahya sankalpa paramparanam samchedane santata savadhana. So by attention, relaxed alertness, mindfulness, watchfulness, you get liberated from your thought processes. The meditation process he has explained without pranayama itself. Alambanashādapachīyamānā shanai shanai shanti mupaiti cetaha. So when this practice is made, once the mind finds that it has no grounds, no base, alambana, that means you are not indulging and getting carried away with the thoughts, the sankalpas and vikalpas, the mind will become calm. That is the technique used in various meditation techniques like Vipassana, mindfulness, watchfulness, or any other technique. Even in Soham meditation, we start with that. In Om meditation also, we start with that. In Antar Mauna, Ajapa, Japa, these are all different meditation techniques independent of pranayama. In all these meditation techniques, you will be going through this process of Sakshi Bhava on the thought process. When you observe the thoughts, they become quietened gradually. The mind becomes quietened gradually. What is yoga? Yoga is nothing but quietening the mind. Yoga chitta vritti nirodha tada drashu swarupe avasthanam. When the mind is quietened, you are in your own true nature. Otherwise, vritti sarupyam itaratra, all the time you are identifying falsely with your thought processes, including the false identities which are generated by false perceptions of false thought process. Nishwasalopaiर्निभृतैः शरीरैः नेत्राम्बुजैरर्धनिमीलितैश्च आविर्भवन्तीम् अमनस्कमुद्राम् आलोकयामो मुनिपुङ्गवानाम्. So we see in those days when Shankaracharya authored this book, he says we are able to see lot of Munipungavas, great munis, who are entering into this samadhi state, who have no breathing. Nishwasalopai nivrutai sharirai netrambujai ardhanimilitaischa, are half closed eyes, ardhanimilita. Avirbhavantim amanaskamudra. They reach the amanaskam, where there is no mind. The amanaska means mindless state. Mindless doesn't mean foolish. It is absorbed in samadhi stage. Amiyamindra sahaja manaska aham mamatva dishikhilayamane manogatim maruta vritti shunyam gachanti bhavam gaganavasesham. These Yamindras, the great yogis, the master yogis, they reach the samadhi stage, which is gaganavasesham. It is like shunyavastha. Yamindra sahaja manaskha. They are in sahaja state. What is sahaja state? No thoughts. You are in your own true nature. Sahajavastha. Aham mamatve shithilayamane. This is ahankara mamakara having been destroyed. Manogatim maruta vritti shunyam. Manogati, the vibrations in the mind are stalled by the stalling of the breathing process. Maruta vritti shunyam gachanti bhavam gaganavasesham. So I have covered 22 slokas. I will continue this in the second half in the afternoon to the end of this Yoga Taravali, which is around 30 slokas. I will now open up for discussion questions.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very enlightening session. I think we have one or two questions. One is in Swami Narasimhananda's translation of Yoga Taravali, verse 16 says Samviteva instead of Kumbhakashri. Are there multiple versions of this text? And does Samvit have the same meaning of Kumbhaka in the alternate version, or is it something else?
No. Answer is no. They don't mean exactly same. You're talking of 16. I'll read again. Aham mamattvadi vihaya sarvam Sri Raja Yoge Sthiramanasana na drishtvata nachita drishabhava sajrumbhate kevala samvideva. Only that is there. Kevala samvideva is the valid text. If I have read it differently, it is wrong. Here it is. Samvid is the same. Kevala samvid, Kevala Kumbhaka, resulting in the jnana of true samadhi. That's what it is. Okay. And the jnana resulting in samadhi, where he has already reached Sri Rajayoge Sthiramanasana na drishtvrata nachita drishabhava. Normally we are in the drashtra bhava, but here he is going beyond both. As in Avadhuta Gita also we have discussed, he goes beyond existence and non-existence. So drashtrata, drishya, both are transcendent. Na drishtrata na drishya bhavaha sa jrumbhate kevala samvideva. Only pure samvit, that is jnana, atma jnana, brahma jnana will jrumbhate, will arise, will soar in that state.
We have received one more question. Kindly say a few words about Sri Aurobindo's integral yoga in the light of Yoga Taravali.
Sri Aurobindo is also our guru, as Swami Vivekananda. In fact, in my own life, I have gone through Swami Vivekananda's complete works when I was 12 years old, and therefore Swami Vivekananda was my first guru. Then my second guru was Sri Aurobindo himself. I have gone through his complete works at the age of 17. And there he has got a whole chapter on Hatha Yoga, a whole essay on it, how he most wonderfully explains the perfect stage of physical and mental development that is possible through Hatha Yoga. And he has also, of course, explained the Jnana Yoga and Raja Yoga and the Bhakti Yoga in different chapters and sections in the synthesis of yoga, resulting in the integral yoga, which is his own formulation, which is an integration of all these yogas. So he has not done anything totally new. He has only integrated the existing yogas, the Hatha Yoga, the Raja Yoga, the Jnana Yoga, the Bhakti Yoga, the Karma Yoga, and that he called as integral yoga, and gave certain new terminologies like the descent of the super mind, the ascent and the descent, and the descent of the super conscience. So these are all new English words he has coined to explain the same, the yoga shastra concepts and frameworks which are there in various texts in belonging to different paramparas and different sampradayas and so on. So I prostrate to Sri Aurobindo for his great achievement of proposing integral yoga, which is integration of various yoga frameworks into one and giving a novel research outcome of himself, creating the integral yoga with new terminology in English. I consider his works as English Veda.
I think that's a interesting way to put it. On the similar line, I had a question. If you have to compare Yoga Taravali with other texts in the Hatha Yoga tradition, do you find any unique perspective offered by Bhagavad Padacharya in the Yoga Taravali?
Yes, in the sense, there is no other yoga text, I can say, at least in my knowledge, which is exactly equivalent or comparable to Yoga Taravali. Other yoga texts are going in much more detailed and different manner, like Hatha Yoga Pradipika, if you take, the very famous text, Hatha Yoga Pradipika, Swatma Rama of 12th century. It is explaining the therapy aspects and the doshas and how each yoga technique can cure that dosha, how, say, a particular asana will work. Arati sakala roga dini gulmodarani asanam sri mayuram adhikashana bhuktam bhasmasat kuryad asesham janayati jadharagnim jarayet kalakutam. He has explained whole mayurasana and its effects in one shloka. It's quite a different detailed treatment. And similarly, the pranayama, bhastrika pranayama, murcha, pravini, surya veda, he explains the procedures for practice. Of course, let me be very clear that nobody can learn yoga through reading books. It has to be learned through teacher directly, because the books will not be able to teach you as a teacher can teach. Like, for example, I will say, there is in the Hatha Yoga Pradipika, he says, take out the substance from your stomach through your mouth. How can you do it? If you simply say it, you cannot do it. That is called Gajakarni Jaladhoti. There is a particular technique of sitting and drinking water and vomiting and all that. Only a teacher can show it. Like swimming. If you read a very good book on swimming and see a lot of presentations, can you swim? You have to learn swimming practically. You can't say, I have read 25 books on swimming, therefore I am a swimming expert. You are not, unless you swim. So these are all practical things. And in the Yoga Taravali, he has not gone into therapy. He has not gone into asanas. He has not gone into details of pranayama. He has gone to a summary view, much less summary view than Patanjali Yoga Sutras. Patanjali Yoga Sutras gave only 3 sutras for the entire pranayama. But here he has given much more detail, and he has given the actual processes. What is very impressive is he has actually explained what exactly I learned from my teacher. That means what exactly is in practice. Whether it is pranayama, or whether it is bandha, or whether it is kundalini, or whether it is samadhi, whether it is Kevala Kumbhaka, or whether it is siddhis, everything exactly in practice in Hatha Yoga, leading to Raja Yoga. Now, a lot of people think Raja Yoga means, there are some organizations who talk of Raja Yoga without doing any asanas, who will simply say you meditate. So one of my friends used to say, uh, what we call meditation, others call sleep. So it is nothing but sleep, because tamoguna will overtake the absence of yogasana practice, and rajoguna will overtake in the absence of pranayama. So it is not possible to reach deep dhyana or samadhi without asana and pranayama. And asana pranayama cannot be practiced unless you purify your body to the Shat Karmas. Shat Karma Nirgata Sthaulya Kafadosha Maladika Pranayamam Tatak Kuryat Anayasena Labhyate. Atayoga Pradipika once again. After cleaning the body through the Shat Karma, Jaraneti, Jaladhauti, Kajakarni, Sanka Prakshalana, then only the body is fit for pranayama. And pranayamena yuktena sarvaro kshayo bhavet, all diseases can be cured. That is the physical therapy aspect. But here, the therapy aspect is not of interest. It is higher yoga. Hatha yoga leading to Raja yoga, and higher yoga, he calls it Sri Raja Yoga, that is Samadhi and all that. Other texts also mention about Samadhi. Yoga Upanishads mention about Samadhi. Hatha Yoga Pradipika also mention the subject is the same, but their treatment is different. It is not as brief and as appealing, hridyam, is not pleasing as in yoga.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a very elaborate response to that. One final question. Are there any yoga teachers today who teach pranayama techniques described in the Yoga Taravali? And the second part is, do you also teach yoga? If yes, where do you teach yoga?
I teach in the cyberspace. So I have been teaching for the last 60 years, and I have set up an organization called Vishwa Yoga Vidyapit, which has branches all over the globe. I have a center in Melbourne, in Australia. We had centers in US, in California. We had centers in Germany, France, and we have centers in Hyderabad, of course, many centers, and in Telangana, other districts. And we have a large number of teachers, my juniors. Along with me, there's a big team of yoga teachers, and we have produced around 10,000 yoga teachers in the last 30 years through various teacher training programs, in addition to normal yoga classes. So I have taught yoga to more than 1 lakh people. My gurus, Suri Raghav Dikshitlu, taught yoga to more than 15 lakh people. He had set up 100 centers in Telangana, Andhra, and Maharashtra in the during 90s up to 2000. He passed away in 2000, up 97 years. And so I have gone there and created by a network of all these centers. What is called Yoga Vidyapit, which is a online or even physical networked yoga university kind of thing. That's why it is called Vidyapit. And there are many others who are teaching. Bihar School of Yoga in Mungir, which is a yoga university. And we have the Yes Vyasa in Bangalore. And we have many other institutions. Kaivalya Dham in Lonavala, Yoga Institute in Bombay. I have nothing but positive greetings to all of my colleagues, yoga teachers throughout the globe, Yoga is a big thing now. Now there are people teaching pranayama, but then what is explained in Yoga Taravali is very advanced, and very few people can reach that stage. What is taught in yoga courses is much lower throughout the globe. And depending on how low it is all yoga, no doubt. But even just to keep one leg and sit, that is also called yoga. And I've seen people doing namaskaram saying yoga. So fine, that is also yoga. But then there are different levels, A to Z. Levels are there. And this Yoga Taravali is in the highest level of yoga. And the pranayama is the same thing we teach. But what quality is the question? It is like saying that, any citizen of India can become Prime Minister of India as per the Constitution of India. Yes, any citizen can become, but who will become actually? Only one will become out of 1.5 billion. So the Yoga Taravali talks of the highest level of Samadhi achievement. And I was very fortunate to have learned from Swami Shilanand Bharti, the higher yoga, and before that from Sri Dikshitalu and Dhiren Brahmachari and Bihar School of Yoga, the lesser level of yoga, but all that is yoga only, connected with each other. And I wish anyone who wants to learn, we can organize classes online. I think even Indica is capable of organizing classes, and in fact, there is a proposal to offer a 1-month course on Patanjali Yoga Sutras and yoga classes as well. And so I look forward to meet all of you either in cyberspace or in physical space.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for a wonderful session. And viewers, we will meet again at 2 p.m. today, and Prabhuji will continue his discussion on providing a very comprehensive overview and introduction to this beautiful text. With this note, let us conclude the session. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha.